So there's quite a few of you that have asked about how I charge my bike and all the other accessories that I've got in the motorhome when we are off-grid. Obviously we've just come back for nearly 2 weeks in Scotland and we didn't plug in once for the motorhome. So charging 3 bikes and all the rest of the appliances was simply down to one tiny little unit that we bring with us everywhere, and that's here. So we have picked up, now there are other ways of doing it, but we found that this is the best way for us, and I'll explain why in a bit. But basically we've got the EcoFlow DELTA 2, which is the 1024 watt hour battery, but it's perfect for us. If I was to buy another one, I think I would go for the Delta 2 Max for the 2048 watt hours, because that then doesn't have to be charged as much. But this does us absolutely perfectly for charging 3 bikes and the air fryer, charging phones, plugging the Starlink in, everything like that we need to charge by a 240 gets done by this little beauty. However, it doesn't do so well on its own. So we've got this other little gadget that helps us charge and keep this topped up, and that's our alternator charger. So this, again, is from EcoFlow, so they both work together really, really well. So you can charge this from the cigarette lighter. However, the smart alternator that we've got on this van means that we can't charge through the cigarette lighter. We can't charge this EcoFlow. You can use a solar panel, but that takes quite a while, depending on the size of your solar panels. And we use the solar panels we've got on our roof to charge the leisure batteries that are in the motorhome, because we use those as well, but obviously they don't use 240. So the alternator charger, which is a tiny little unit just here, plugs in to your vehicle battery. And the reason it goes onto the vehicle battery is so that when you are driving or the engine's running, it will push through up to 800 watts of power through this alternator charger and into the EcoFlow battery. And that means that this EcoFlow charger can actually charge to full while you're driving in about 40 to 50 minutes. So it means that when we're on the road, especially like in Scotland, we could be driving somewhere, parking up, using the EcoFlow for cooking, etc. And then we can have the EcoFlow charging the bikes while it's plugged into the alternator charger as we're driving to our next destination, which means the bikes are getting charged from basically the van battery through the EcoFlow. So it's really, really, really cool piece of kit, and that's exactly and the only thing we use. So I got this for £599 on Amazon. They vary in cost. There's always promotions and things on, and that is it. And I bought this secondhand from Facebook Marketplace. My husband put it in. Paul put it in really simple, straight onto the vehicle battery. We keep it like floating, so we haven't got it permanently set up, because we want to be able to take it out and remove it if we do ever sell the motor. So that leads me on to my next point. Why didn't we just put an inverter in onto the leisure battery? Now that's what we did in the Sprinter van that we had, the race van, and it worked absolutely perfectly. However, there is a but, and the but is that you can't then move the inverter and the units around. So once you sell the Sprinter, the whole lot goes, unless you have to strip it out and replace and do all that shiz before you can actually sell the Sprinter. Now, one thing that we love with this, because it's portable, not so much the alternator charger, because we don't unplug that from the of the van when we need it. That stays in here permanently. But if we go in the caddy, so if we're doing bike park days in Forest of Dean or Bike Park Wales or wherever, and we're going away in the caddy, this just lifts up, comes with us. We haven't got to worry about any disconnecting from the leisure batteries or anything like that, and that is why I love this unit. Now, this is not a sponsored ad in any way. I wish it was. So EcoFlow, if you're listening, I want a Delta 2 Max, please. And I'll review that one. But yeah, so this, I bought this my own money, so I'm just explaining to you how I charge my bikes. So obviously I've been out today around Exmoor National Park, completely drained my battery. I had to ride home with the battery off, which means that in order for me to ride tomorrow, I need to charge the bike. So I'm going to show you that all charging now, and I'm going to just show you through the EcoFlow just so you can get a feel for exactly what it does. So my bike is 800 watt hours. This is 1024, so it'll do one full charge if it's not plugged into the alternator charger. So if it's just standalone, sitting in the garage, charging the bike, it'll do one charge with a bit extra. What I intend to do is connect it to the alternator charger and charge while we're driving. And then I just have an extension lead going into the garage because this won't reach that far. But honestly, it's just the perfect setup for us. Absolutely perfect. So yeah, on the front, wait until it comes on. You can see we're 100% battery. We got 99 hours of doing nothing. So you got input and output is 0 at the moment because it's not doing anything. We got a load of USB ports. We got fast charge and normal charge, and then we've got 2 USB-C, which are great because all my GoPro, my Insta360, which you were watching on right now, my drone, although sore subject, if you've watched my my Exmoor video, if I've actually put it up yet, yeah, my drone is no more, but all that stuff is charged through USB-C. So we got that there, and then conveniently on the back we have 4 normal household sockets. So this is obviously what we use to charge the bikes, and then you have the cigarette lighter port and DC charging down the bottom. Plugging in your solar panel, your charger if you want to charge in the house, all that good stuff, that just goes straight into there. To plug in the alternator charger, however, you put it in on the side, just like that, into there. That's the only thing you need, literally the only thing you need. So yeah, obviously the alternator charger will only charge the power bank when the engine's running, so do be mindful of that. You can't just plug it in and hope that it'll just take some power. It won't. You have to be running. So the best thing to do that I always recommend is go on your bike ride, come back, when you're heading home, charge it while you're traveling, and then that will charge your bikes. The van will be charging this, and it's absolutely perfect. So we're going to go and charge the bike now because I want to go out again tomorrow. So I need battery, charging my battery. And then yeah, I got to use it for the air fryer tonight because we're having steak and chips. Oh, can't wait. We're going to use it for the air fryer and possibly the microwave. So yeah, lots going on tonight. So let's see how it goes and does. I'll catch you in a bit. Right, so we got the EcoFlow. It's plugged into the back. You do have to enable charging from the different ports, so it's just a little button. There we go. And then first off you check, so it's red, which means now we're charging. So if you can see that actually, and we're now pushing out 383 watts straight into the bike. So that's all charging. we've got 2 hours of battery life before it'll actually run out. You should be able to see if I reach in that the bike is charging, and that's as far as it goes. So I can leave that now safe in the knowledge that the BMS and all the good stuff, security features, safety features in that box are doing its thing. So that's it. So what will happen now is that will obviously get down to fairly low, 10-15% for a full charge of the bike, and from there I can take it back into the van, put it on the alternator charger for when we head off tomorrow back home, and it'll charge the EcoFlow by the time we get home. So it's never really got to go into the house. Free energy, let's face it. So yeah, like I said, you can put a solar panel on the top or out to charge it. It won't be as quick as an alternator charger though, so just be mindful of that. I do prefer the alternator charger just for simplicity's sake. Cheaper, because they cost a fortune, those solar panels. But the solar panels then charge our leisure batteries, and they're already built in on the roof of the van. So yeah, we're all set up, we're all powering on. You can see already that it's down to 98%, so it's already taken its charge, and that'll be good to go at normal rate. So it doesn't charge any slower, it's just all normal. So yeah, I'll bring you back later when we're all charged. Right, so time is now 7:45. So yeah, we'll see what time it charges. See you in a bit. It's 10 o'clock. We've just walked like 100 miles down into town to try and have food. Everything stopped, so like 8 o'clock. So it was a cocktail and a kebab. Living the life. Anyway, we come back. EcoFlow is now the Amflow is now fully charged, and I know because it's gone green. So let me just spin you around. Here we go. So you can see, if you can, 34% battery left, and it's not pushing out any power anymore because we're green. So I'm going to crawl in and make sure the Amflow is fully charged, and then that's job done. So now I've got 34% left in EcoFlow. EcoFlow can go back in the van, and it can be used for whatever else, charging anything else we need. Perfect. So there we are, 76% it'll use to charge an Amflow, which is 800 watt hour battery. So yeah, job done. Let's go and check to see if it's charged. Charged? I think it is. So yeah, job done. EcoFlow has done its job. Happy days. So I got 34% now, like I said, left to use in the van, and then when we're travelling tomorrow we'll hook it up to the alternator charger and it'll be charged within the hour. So yeah, perfect. So I hope that's answered your questions. This is a short one. There's no point me going into so much more detail. But yeah, if you want to ask any questions, please do so in the comments. I'm more than happy to help. If I need to go into any more detail, then I'll do another video, go into more detail. But yeah, it's perfect for us, because like I said, we can then pop it in the caddy and take it when we go out on our day trips, when we don't take this, which we couldn't do if it was built in. So yeah, good job. Nice. Right, so I just thought I'd quickly show you my setup, that we're just about to jump in the van now and head off. So we've just started the engine, we've plugged in the alternator charger and everything now. So this is reality now for YouTube. My microphone, my Insta360, extra battery, and up the top there my power bank, and it's also, while I'm on the move, transferring all my footage from yesterday onto my laptop, so my laptop's charging as well. Alright, so all that now will charge from the EcoFlow as we're charging using the alternator charger, and I bet you once we get to our next stop, all my stuff will be charged, the EcoFlow will be charged, and we'll be ready for another day. Obviously last night you saw my bike was charged, so yeah, I think we're good. So I'm gonna just leave that sit now and head on up to our next stop, which you'll see in the next episode. Right, see you later. Right, you can see here that the EcoFlow is plugged into the alternator charger and it's charging now at around 700 to 800 watts. That means that we'll be charging in no time at all, and while it's charging all my kit. Happy days! Right, so I just thought I'd quickly show you my setup. That we're just about to jump in the van now and head off. So we've just started the engine. We've plugged in the alternator charger and everything now. So this is reality now for YouTube. My microphone, my Insta360, extra battery, and up top there my power bank. And it's also, while I'm on the move, transferring all my footage from yesterday onto my laptop, so my laptop's charging as well. All right, so all that now will charge from the EcoFlow as we're charging using the alternator charger, and I bet you once we get to our next stop, all my stuff will be charged, the EcoFlow will be charged, and we'll be ready for another day. Obviously last night you saw my bike was charged, so yeah, I think we're good. So I'm gonna just leave that sit now and head on up to our next stop, which you'll see in the next episode. Right, see you later. An hour and a half later, we're at our new destination, and as you can see, even though it's still charging the laptop and keeping it taken over, it's at 99% charge, so everything is now charged and back ready for me to use again. Perfect. Still watching and not subscribed? Hit that button, it's free. It helps the channel and means you won't miss the next epic episode. Go on, I'm watching you.